Good afternoon. It's just gone midday Eastern time and I'm just going to recap my trading for today. It was a good day trading. I took just 2 trades. In fact, I took 3 trades and I'm going to go through them now. So on my screen is the MES for 5 minute. The MES is the S&P index futures. You can also trade the ES, which is 10 times bigger than the MES. So for one contract of ES you can get 10 contracts of MES, and I personally prefer to trade the MES because it gives me a bit more flexibility getting in and out. So my first trade today was in the pre-market and it was at 7:35, and I was watching for the bottom, and I had this area. It's a high risk bounce area at 44.9250, and so I was watching that area, and what I was looking for, I saw the bottom come in, I saw increased volume come in as well. We saw this sell off, and it looked like ending volume from this run down, and I think I had my stop buy order was at 44.9250 on the dot, and you can see from there it whips me in and instantly whipped me back out, and I used the low of that candle as my out. So I was out pretty within about a minute on that. I didn't hold it, and so it still wasn't ready to go long. So that's just a test really. I was just testing it out, and it's a very small loss. My next area, I was waiting for confirmation. It came into this demand zone, this green area, and ideally 44.85 was the area I wanted to get it in. So I came in, I bought 1 contract there, and then I had my stop 1 tick below the low, and then as it came in and pulled back, I added another contract just there as well. So my average price was around 44.89.75, I think it was, exactly there. And it was pre-market and it was considered higher risk, so it was only going to be a scalp. And so I held it through here, through the pullback, and no, in fact, what didn't quite work like that. I held it through the first, I held it through there, and then through this pullback, and then I didn't like it. I saw a reducing volume as well, and so when we pulled through, I thought, right, if we break down below this area here, it was consolidating for some time. I moved my stop from there up to that point there, 44.9250. It was, in fact, it was 1 tick below this low, so that's my stop. In fact, I trailed the 5 minute candles up, the pivots, and so I had my stop there, and obviously you see it pushed up, so I was in good profit there. Came right down and then it just stopped me out. So I did take 1 off there, and my second one was out of there, so better than break even. So my break even was down here, I think it was. So good trade, and you know, I'm trying to stick to my plan a bit better, because last on Friday I wasn't taking my stops and I would have held through this one, you know, but I need to work on my stops and whether I should be moving my stops or not, and that's something I'll be working on, because you can see we're putting in higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. My target, by the way, was this area here, and it was 4,500, and I wonder if I can show you on, in fact, if you watch my pre-market video, I was in that trade at the time, but in the pre-market video I said that I was waiting to get to 4,500. Where were we? We were 4,500. We had this big area here. It was that area there I was waiting for, and I said I wanted to. So that was where I held through, came back out, consolidated, and it whipped me out. And it did eventually hit my target. In fact, as you can see, it did better than hit my target. It's been running all day. So yeah, so a bit annoying, a bit frustrating, because I need to work on what, you know, I should have just left my stop there and maybe trailed major pivots, like these were pivots. That wasn't, well, at the time it looked like a pivot, but when it was consolidating, do you know what, it doesn't matter. My plan was to trail the pivots up, and that's exactly what I did. So I got out there, and it's, you know, this could have easily just gone back down that way. So relatively happy, as in profit. I did make one more trade. In fact, I got a swing trade I'll tell you about in a second. So I made one more trade when we came back up to this area, 44.05. I was watching the book map, and I was seeing heavy areas of sellers around this area, and there was no buyers to follow through, and you can see that from this candle. And I took a short, I took 2 contracts short up here. Again, it's a high risk rejection, and I had this 4500 as an area I was watching anyway. So I think my average price was just above 4500. It was just around here, and then I trailed it down, and my out was down. In fact, my out was exactly there, 49.90, low of the day. I missed it, and I just got out manually just there. So that was me done for the day. That was 3 trades. So 1 stop, 1 win, where maybe I should have held the runner, because if I held the runner, I'd probably still be in it now. And then 1 scalp down to the low of day. That's it. The swing trade I'm in, it's only experimental. It's just in my options account, and that is, I'm currently long SPY. So I got in around this area here, and I can show you why I got in. Again, I was watching Bookmap, and zoom out. So in Bookmap, you can see we've got this big hairy area here of heavy buyers or heavy sellers, and then what I was watching, I'm going to zoom into this area because it's quite clear what's going on. Let me zoom in. Okay, so when did it break out? It was broke out here. So here we go. So this is the area I was watching. So every time we came into these areas, so I've got a better colour I can use. So every time we came into these areas, we had more buyers and sellers, more buyers and sellers, more buyers and sellers, especially around this area. It pulled back a bit. Then we had all these buyers, big buyers there, big buyers there, and it took out the sellers. So I got in here, and in fact I got in actually when it was over here. I got in about there. So what's that? That was at 3:30 my time. So that would be 10:30 Eastern time. So that's my entry area there, and I was at the time it was more speculative because it looked like we were putting in higher highs, higher lows, but it was confirmed when I saw these big buyers on the level 2. And as you can see, then the buyers then were eating up all of the shares the sellers are offering, and then it held the ask and it pushed up, pulled back a little bit, and we're still here. This is where we are right now. So that's doing okay. I'm going to assess how long I'm going to keep it, because if we look at the daily right now, let's move this out. In the daily, this is area we're keeping an eye on here. If we break through this area and retest, and basically if we break through that area, then we're probably looking to get back down to this area here. And if we can push up through this area here, then we've got a target of that area and that area next. And at the moment, we just look like we're going sideways on the daily, and potentially today could move up to this area. Looks like we don't know what's going to happen yet. It's got to get through the sideways. So when the moving average is sideways, it doesn't have as much influence as when it's going upwards or downwards like this. So this is a rising moving average. You can see it come down and bounced, but sideways it will just go through it like it has done. So not too worried about the moving averages, but I think this is a good target if we're long today. And if I can get my swing trade up to this area today, I'll probably come out of it, because I'm probably expecting to come back down again. And obviously if I break the low today, then I'm going to get out of it anyway, because then it looks like we're going to be targeting this area. So that's kind of my day really. So quite eventful. All my trades, by that very first one, was profitable. That very first one was only for very small contract size anyway, and So potentially here we could have a break and retest of the pre-market as well, which we are coming into right now. Should be there, and exactly where we are now as well. Let's use that one. So yeah, so potentially look at that, it's already just bounced. So this could be a potential long as well. I might keep an eye on this. Okay, thanks for watching. That's it really. Oil, how's that gone today? I'm always keeping an eye on that on oil. Let's go down to the hourly. Look at that, that's interesting. 2 topping tails on the hourly. So if you remember my video earlier, I said I'm not going to take any positions until we can get right down to this area here, or better still this area around here. So this area might be considered 88, might be considered a nice area to buy because it's getting close to the rise in 200 moving average as well. But for the last few days we've yet to break this 50. So we tried it, we pushed through and rejected it straight away. So it'd be interesting to see whether we can get what happens. If we can break down through the 50 eventually, this time round, then we may see the 200 come into play. Okay, well thanks for watching, and hopefully you've had a good day's trade, and also take care, see you tomorrow.